What's going on, guys, and welcome to episode 2 of the Inheritance series. If I sound a little different, it's because I'm just coming off of a cold, but we're not going to get into all that JoJo, goodness, gracious, all that good stuff. We're just going to get right on into it, so we will see you out there. Alright, so, as I stated earlier, we got that planted, that field over there, and we can't mow the grass just yet, so I think we're gonna call it a day. And we could mow this, but I don't know how easy that would be to pick up after. We're just gonna go ahead and call it a night, I think, or a day. We'll relax, hang out with the missus, all that, and yeah, I'll see what next month brings. Alright, we owe the bank some money. Yeah. So we gotta find ourselves some work, or we gotta start mowing the grass or something. We're gonna go run over here, see how the field's looking real quick. Alright, the grass is ready to be mowed, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get right to that. We're gonna go up the road, pick up the tractor. Actually, I don't know if there's a tractor. Yeah, there's a tractor over there. There you go. We did find the keys for the other truck. They was buried under some stuff. We found the keys. And we might end up selling it just so that we can pay the bills. This thing's been pretty reliable, so no need to have two trucks, and the missus has her little Durango there, so alright. Go down here, get this big old boy fired up. Alright. Man, I don't even know if the mower is gonna fit on this tractor. This almost seems like it would be too heavy. It somehow isn't. Alright. Do we need anything else before we get out of here? I probably should bring the windrower. Ooh, yeah, see, it is heavy. Yeah, she's heavy, alright. I think it'll be alright once we get around Fulton again, but... And when Gramps built this part of the property, wasn't really worried about the pitch or anything like that, the angle. We still gotta work on that frost heave over on the other side there, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we'll bring the windrower over, and we'll pack it right over here. Make it a little easier when we're collecting the bales and whatnot. And hopefully this thing has the power to do what we need it to do. That's the other thing too. Honestly, we might just mow even the sides too. We might not even worry about doing GPS on this. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we're gonna get this all mowed up here. And yeah, if you guys are liking what you're seeing, make sure you're hitting that like button. If you're new to the channel, you want to see more of this content, be sure to, subscribe and hit the little bell so you know when I post content. I'm going to try and get an episode a week, but we'll see what happens. I also do occasionally stream on Twitch. I will link that down below for you. Go ahead and, pop over there and give me a follow there as well. be much appreciated. We'd love to have you around when we're live. Again, I don't really have a schedule or nothing yet. It's hard to do that when you got a full-time job and everything, so. But I'm hoping to get something a little more established here. Gonna have to make some sacrifices, but yeah, I do plan on streaming, and like I said, I think right now we're just gonna stick to posting one episode a week. I'm gonna try and shoot for posting the episodes on Mondays, and then if I do get to a point where I've got so much like backlogged as far as content goes, then maybe we'll post 2 a week, and the other episode will come out on like Thursday, I think. I think that'll be the plan. Mondays and Thursdays, one for the beginning of the week, and then one towards the end of the week. I don't want to put it on Friday, because Friday, you know, you wait 2 days, and then you get another thing, and then you got to wait 4 days or whatever, you know? Don't make no sense. But yeah, this is what it's like out here, living on the farm. It's been alright. Like I said, we owe some money, so we're probably not even going to be able to keep much of this stuff here. Probably have to sell this, try and get some sort of a profit. Or we're going to have to sell the grandpa's new pickup truck there. Now there was, for some reason, there was a owner's manual in the house for like an old John Deere tractor. And when we went over what we had on the property, I didn't see no John Deere's, just a bunch of Massey Fergusons and a couple International Harvesters, but I don't know, not sure if he sold the John Deere or what happened as far as that goes, or if maybe a friend of his borrowed it and just didn't return it. I don't know. I'm not really sure what happened with the John Deere tractor. Would be cool to find though. Figure out what happened to it at least. But chickens have been good. And the missus is growing them strawberries like I had mentioned. So we're gonna see how it goes. Hopefully we'll get some strawberries real soon. We can go sell that. Because like I said, a negative $141, yield the bank some money. We got to get that going, you know. But we'll see what happens. And it's gonna be quite a long time before we're really in the green here. Because again, we got to do a lot of investing. You know, we got to get cattle. And then, you know, we got to make sure that they're fed and everything there. We got to keep on top of these bills. And we're growing wheat in that field, so we don't have to worry about feeding the chickens, you know, going to buy feed for the chickens there. We can just feed them the wheat. But yeah, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be a rough little while, I think. But I think we're gonna get through it. You know, Gramps did this for years. And so I think we'll have no problem. We'll have no problem doing that. You might be, you know, wondering, well, what about Grams? What happened to Grandma? Grandma passed away a few years before Gramps did, so you know, even after her death, he kept on doing his thing. He kept doing what he oh, I guess we have to have this unfolded. He's not gonna let me drop her. He kept, you know, living his dream, and so here we are. We're helping carry that dream on to the next generation there. And my pops, he didn't really want to do all that. He wasn't much for the whole farm and stuff. He was a stock car racer for a few years at a local track. Became pretty popular there. Earned a few championships, and then went on to become a truck driver because there was more money in that, and that's what he did for a long time. So. And well, the uncle, because we do have an uncle in the family on this side of the family. He didn't want nothing to do with it. He was a lawman in a big city, and so he just never. He just couldn't be bothered, you know, coming out here and having to tend to all this, and or pay someone to tend to all this, you know. So. The family's got a lot of blue collar in it. I'll say that for sure. But not a lot of them wanted to, you know, deal with the responsibility. You know, this is a lot of work, and you know, it's a big financial burden too. You got to make sure you got the money for it, and you got to be willing to put in some time. This isn't something you just, you know, clock in and collect a paycheck. You got to be out here working hard. And you know, I ain't never really done farming before. It's kind of our first go at it, but you get a good appreciation for, you know, all that these folks do. A lot of work. And you know, the profits ain't that big, and it's kind of a, you know, it's a job that we ain't thankful enough for. You know what I'm saying? So, you folks see a farmer out there or whatnot working hard in those fields, make sure you know, give him some appreciation. He's working hard. You know, when you're out there in those rural towns, you big city folk. You're driving along and you stop behind a tractor, you know, let him have his way. You know, he's working hard. And whatever we miss here, we'll just go ahead and we'll come back through with the baler in a little bit here and pick it up. Ooh, we're a little all over the place here. That's going to be a tough line to do, but we'll get through it. We ain't really get a whole bunch. The grass didn't really get that high, but we just need to get something going here. So we'll see what we got. Missed that whole line there, just about. This is how I should have done it. I should have just done long lines just like this, but whatever. We'll try and remember that for the next field when we do the next one. Alright, we'll come over here, we'll grab the baler. Now, we did get a round baler. I didn't really want to do, but... I kind of, you know, I wish. Oh, this is a square baler. We're good. I thought this was a round baler. See, I just looked at the front of it last time, and I just assumed. All right, so this won't be so bad. The round balers aren't bad, but they're kind of a pain. I feel like the round balers, they require a lot more to them than, you know, a square baler. That's just me. Alright, so we got this going here. And, yeah, I guess we're going to finish up this field, and then we'll catch you when we're about to mow the next field, I think, because I'm sure you guys don't want to sit here and listen to me blabber and whatnot. I mean, last little bit we was blabbering about what we were going to get done. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and finish this up, and we'll get with you when we get this all collected here. I know I wasn't really using you know, giving you guys a view here through the cab of the tractor last time, but it's because I wasn't using the GPS. It's a little easier for me to see, you know, out the windows and whatnot, to catch my drift there. So we're gonna go ahead and do this right here in the cab with GPS running. Got this thing doing its thing here. And this run through, when we go ahead and we start collecting all this up, I think we're going to go ahead and make sure that we're windrowing in straight lines. Makes it a lot easier. Now we only got 3 bales out of the field up there. I'm hoping I can get at least 4 bales down here. Maybe 5, to be honest. That would be ideal. But we'll see what happens. I won't bore you with all the nitty gritty here. We're going to go ahead, we're going to cut this field up real quick, and then we'll get with you when we're all done with it. But yeah, we'll see y'all in a few minutes once we get this field all mowed up. Alright, so we're working on the last line here. I got a little deer running through the field over there. Working on the last row. We did miss a couple spots, so windrower isn't the best, but it'll make do. But yeah, I was going to show you guys. Look at all these bales. We got so many bales out here, way more than 5, way more than 6. Because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 and 10. 9 and 10 is still here on the baler. That was pretty good. So I think the plan is now we're going to go ahead and bring this equipment back to the shed. I'm going to get a bale wrapper. I'm going to wrap a few of these bales up because we want to be able to ferment them into silage so we can use it to feed the cows. And we can let it ferment for quite a while, and it takes a while for it to start fermenting too, so it's not like we have to have the cows now in order to, you know, minimize our loss. But we'll back this bad boy up in here. And I definitely think that this tractor really wasn't meant for what we were just using it for. I don't know why it was down in this like hall down here. I don't know why it was in that pond so close to this equipment. If it wasn't used to that equipment, I'm not really sure. But we're gonna go ahead, go over here, wrap a few of these bales up. That way they can ferment. Drop right there. And then I don't know if I have any headers with a bale spike, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pick these up and move them or not. Maybe we can get some people nearby to help us move them. But yeah, so we're gonna ferment. I think we're gonna ferment like 4 of these, I think. So we'll grab one over there and bring it over and get it wrapped. And then the rest of them, we're just gonna keep grass, I think. Trying to see how many, so this would be 4. Alright, we're gonna grab this last one, this lone one way down here. And we'll wrap that one. And then the rest of them we will just go ahead and keep them as grass for now. We might have to sell a few of these. And the other thing I was just thinking of too, pretty sure I mentioned this last month, that we was gonna work on planting that field. I don't think we actually planted it, because I know I mentioned to you folks earlier that we have this stuff growing. I don't think we got it growing. I have to go take a look. But it doesn't look like it's been planted. So this may be another episode here. Yeah, we ain't even planted in this field yet, and we got to do it this month. So that'll probably be episode 3. Even though I said I'm pretty sure in the last episode it was gonna be episode 2, but sometimes that's just how things are. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get those all sorted. Probably won't make you folks deal with all that madness and having to watch that. Or maybe we will. I'm not sure yet. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna go over to the other or go back to the house, see if we got anything that we can use to collect that stuff real quick. That way we can get it placed next to the barn for the cows. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna shut this off, turn the lights off. Alright, let's run over to the house real quick, see if we got any header attachments. I know we got a front loader, so we just gotta see if we got a header attachment for the run over here real quick, shut this door, that way no critters get to the seed that's in there. There we go. Yeah, that's the last thing we need is critters getting into our seed. Yeah, so we'll get that stuff moved in a little bit there. I want to get over to the house real quick, see if we got any attachments to move those bales. I think it's just that bale for it. I don't think we got any I don't think there's anything up in this house either. I can't remember. Yeah, we got no attachments. Looks like the missus having a lazy morning. Don't even look like she got the strawberries planted yet. I guess we'll fire this thing up, see if she'll do the job or not. Go ahead and turn off our truck here. But yeah, I think we're gonna end up selling Grandpa's truck. You know, old reliable, she's doing well, but I wanna own 2 trucks, you know? Yeah, it's just gonna push the bale around. So we ain't even gonna be able to spike this or nothing. Alright, so we'll have to get a hold of some people, see if they'll come by and help us out. Have to make some calls, see if we can get going. Yeah. I think that's gonna do it for this episode, folks. We're gonna make some phone calls, see if we can get some folks to come over and help us move those. So they'll probably be moved in the next episode. And in the next episode, we will also be planting that field with seed, because we really need to get on top of that before we can't plant it until next year. So I appreciate you guys all for watching. We'll catch you next time. Be sure to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I thank you for all your love and support, and we'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.